That's the one they're all aiming at. Now it looks a bit steeper, doesn't it? 19% here, 7 kilometres to go. As he's kicked around that very, very steep bend. This is Priedler, and here come the Movistar cavalry as they bring up the main body of the peloton. Valverde sitting there using 4 teammates to help him. They're going to sweep by him here now. Priedler, has he got anything left to try and get in there? I'm not so sure.
Well, Movistar are wasting no time in accelerating on this climb. This is going to split up very quickly.
Well, there's your leader on the left of the picture, and the peloton now has swept up everybody in between. Thomas Marzinski wants only one thing today, and that is to win his first Grand Tour stage right on the top of this climb. He won't get the race lead. He's on a 20% gradient here, and the fans are willing to cheer him on. There's an awful lot of following cars for one rider there, and they're going to have to get rid of those cars very shortly.
Yeah, we've still got 1 or 2 riders still in between. I just caught a glimpse of Oroz there. He's just in front of this Movistar-led group.
Right. Now, the lime green jersey, well, Basso is the first lime green jersey down there. The green jersey of points is now run out of teammates, and it's good to see both the Sky Riders have come back there. This is Jose Mendes, who's been charged with looking after Leopold Koenig today. He's also slipping to the back.
Yeah, he's obviously just caught sight of him going around the hairpin.
He's gone off again. And this Mendes is looking for him. He's trying to keep his highly placed leader, who's 7th overall at the start of the day, in touch with this bunch for as long as possible. Keep him in the top 10 as we go to the rest day. This is the Polish rider on the Vakon Soleil, a team that leaves the sport this year. Odd reason, because they've achieved everything they wanted out of cycling, the official communique said, and they thanked the team for giving them new esteem. And then they said, now we're pulling the plug goodbye. So that's the end of Vakon Soleil at the end of this season. This looks like Igor Anton is beginning to move clear. He is on good form and going to do something big during this tour. I just feel it coming, because he's riding as well as I've ever seen him ride, and it's come at a time when this morning his team seems to have been saved by none other than Alonso, the Formula One former world champion, because he says he's going to sponsor the team from next year.
Yeah, I mean, if that comes to fruition, it'll be a fantastic boost to the riders themselves in morale, because they must have been coming into this race really wondering what the future held.
Well, now they'll want to deliver, that's for sure. Igor Anton is trying to ride away here very, very slowly. Once they see the Basque colours here, everybody will shout for him. Back up to the leader. Now let's have a look as we pull back. Far too many cars in that gap right now. They need to work out what to do with them, because the peloton can't be that far behind. We're looking 48 seconds. We're on a steep climb. There's Ulysses still seems to be out there. Either way, he's being caught now. This man can't go downhill, Graham, but he certainly can climb. Anyways, Igor Anton is first to go by him. Tangut is second place. Rodriguez. We've certainly got Basso looking at the action here. And we've got to keep it. Vivo is the rider for AG2R. Now, Nicholas Roach was here at the start. We need to keep an eye out for that blue spot. Yes, he's still there. Just come around the corner.
Yeah, Nibali is having a little bit of acceleration.
This is Nibali who's coming.
Yeah. Henao and Uran are still there. Thibaut Pinot, I can see. Chris Horner.
So the two Astana riders are both here at the moment. Tanel Kangat is the other rider. But Nibali now is testing them, and I'm not too sure they've got answers here. Why hasn't Valverde tried to go with Nibali? 6 kilometres to go for the leader. 6 kilometres still to climb to the summit. They're on the hardest part of the climb. This is really extremely steep, and they're only 34 seconds back. Astana, remember, the winners of the team time trial on day 1 of this race, and now challenging again for the race lead. They've got a double-headed attack going here with Tanel Kangat as well.
This is doing some damage.
And I think Rigoberto Urán has spotted it in black for Sky. He has moved across the gap. At 6 kilometres to go, there's starting to be life in the peloton. Dani Moreno here. He said his jersey was on loan for his teammate, and it looks as though that may be the case now, because at about 5 kilometres to go to the summit, he's been dropped by a very select bunch of riders. And on the basis of that, if Nicholas Roach can just stay up there in that group, he'll be back in the red jersey tonight. Little bit of a tall order just now on the 12% section of the climb. 5 kilometres left to go. They haven't yet nailed back Majinski. About 12 riders left in that select bunch down there. Vincenzo Nibali is the man doing the pacemaking with his teammate Tanel Kangat, the Estonian rider, then Ivan Basso, then Rodriguez. Also Posso Vivo is the rider in the whitish jersey, and a little bit of a move by Vincenzo Nibali now. Is who's going to answer this one? Rodriguez is up for it. Basso on the right. He's having to dig a little bit deeper than Rodriguez, I think.
Vivo's there as well. Valverde's looking pretty good.
Sanchez, former Olympic champion, slipping back with Mikel Nieve. And here is the red jersey now dropping away from the limelight. The man who got the lead back yesterday, the only rider in the race who has won more than 2 stages. Nicholas Roach is just sitting on the back there.
Yeah, he's been trying to hang on. I could just see 1 or 2 little gaps opening a bit back down the climb, but the elastic has gone and he has just losing a bit of time. He's just not got to panic.
There is a gap. No, he mustn't panic. He's holding 18 seconds advantage over Nibali. So as long as he can get up there, by about 8 seconds behind Nibali, he will get the red jersey. Valverde, you see, he's had his team do all of the work, but he hasn't been able to go with this pacemaking by Vincenzo Nibali. Yeah,
Valverde's gone there with Pozzovivo, so that might well be a good thing for Nicholas Roach.
Nicholas Roach has not given up here at all, because he's trying to get back onto the wheel of Valverde's group. Now Chris Horner pushing on here. Now Horner's a candidate for red again. Horner starts today only 28 seconds off the red jersey. As always, a 10-second for the man that gets over the line first. This is a big move by Chris Horner here, and he was looking forward to the better mountains, he said. No reaction from Vincenzo Nibali, because he was making his play and Horner was waiting, and this is going to do a lot of damage now to the overnight leader.
This is a surprise for me to see Moreno go, but this is what it's all about. He did say Rodriguez is his team leader, but it's the other riders that are doing the damage at the moment, and it's Basso who's actually trying to chase down Horner.
At the moment, Basso is the big surprise. Moreno there's lost around 37 seconds at the moment. That's a lot. And again, Roche is looking to keep his lead in the King of the Mountains, but at the moment, if he can just come across that gap, he could well be a candidate for red again. That's what's on the mind of the Radio Shack rider here, Chris Horner. And he's got a nice gap there.
Thibaut Pinot's another rider that has got back onto this group, so he's doing a good ride as well.
He makes these very, very steep corners here when they really kick up and slap you in the face. He makes them look very easy. Notice they take it very wide around the hairpins because the steepest slopes are on the inside. Basso is the big surprise so far, the Vuelta Espana for me. He sets all the pace. There's Nicholas Roach. He's still there, gritting his teeth. The man who leads in the King of the Mountains competition for a week now. And he's also had for one day the race leader's red jersey. His first leader's jersey in a Grand Tour. And there's an outside chance he could still get it back tonight. 28 seconds to Nibali's group, Moreno, and here we're looking at him 23 seconds further back. He's got the 2 Euskaltel riders in front, Nieve and Sanchez. Sometimes, Graham, when you climb, if somebody's dictating the pace, it hurts, but if you can just settle down to your own rhythm, you come back.
Yeah, that's the point. Some riders that respond to accelerations better than others. Others, you just have to go at your own pace. As you saw there, Valverde, I've seen him do it so many times. He does lose, he loses, lets the gap go a little bit, but he does come back.
Well, you were a top 20 finisher in the Tour de France. You know what it's like to climb these high mountains when you're chasing seconds. So Nicholas Roach is still there, hanging on, suffering, but that's his job as a professional cyclist. Basso is setting the pace now. Valverde is there. Kangat. There's Roach. Rodriguez just in front of him. He's living with them. Posavivo's come back up as well. And this rider, while they all settle down at the back, Chris Horner is trying to race back into the red jersey today. This amazing man who has had a serious injury in Italy right out at the start of the year. Took him until the summer, until 4 weeks ago, to reappear on top of cycling. And here he is in the Vuelta now and racing for a red jersey. It's amazing. And not to mention he's the oldest man in the race. Minute gone. There's the clock counting under that banner, which was 4 kilometers to go. And he's now losing big time, and he's losing a minute here. He's now falling out of the top 6 riders in the race.
Nicholas Roach still hanging on there. Thibaut Pinot at the moment doing the pacemaking. This the pictures really don't do this climb any justice. This really is a brutal climb.
Well, this is Thibaut Pinot, the man that almost said he just can't descend, and he doesn't know why he's a racing cyclist, because he really cracked wide open in the Tour de France. He couldn't go down hills, dropped from the leading brake on the descents. A bit like Ulysses was today, but he seems to have recovered himself and now looking very confident. Sanchez looks across at Moreno, 2 Spanish riders. Moreno just trying to get on the back wheel of the former Olympic champion here. Nibali's going with an acceleration. Well, we've cut away with no control over the pictures, but it looked to me as though that was an attack. Here we go, back to Nibali again. This time, though, Basso has lifted the ante, and so too has Rodriguez. Pinot grits his teeth and comes on. And Nicholas Roach, they're just yo-yoing, but he hasn't gone yet.
Yeah, again, he probably can't quite respond to those fast accelerations, but just keep it going, keep your own pace, and just keep coming back.
He's a different bike rider since he came across to the Saxo team from AG2R, Nicholas Roach, and becoming a real part of this year's Vuelta, and he's fighting to keep that leader's jersey in the mountains. Now another massive acceleration by Basso. Basso really is surprising here, gritting his teeth as he lifts the ante, checks any damage done. Valverde's watched it, but now that's a good time to attack Basso. Nibali goes now, and Basso's just made a move and can't react, and neither, it seems, can anybody else. 2 kilometers to go now. Can Chris Horner hold off Vincenzo Nibali? He's flying up the hill now.
This is a really steep part of the climb, and nobody's been able to respond to this attack. I thought if anybody was going to try and go, it would be Rodriguez. I thought he might have been hiding something, but it looks like he's just doing well to stay with that group.
Well, Nibali has given the Horner 47-second start and 2 kilometers to the line. Can he close down the gap, win the stage, and likely take the race lead, because he's flying up here? That was a real attack. The shadow boxing is over now as the road gets narrower and narrower as we climb to the top of this mountain. Vincenzo Nibali, he started as the favourite, and boy, he's now showing us why.
Yeah, he was waiting for that opportunity. He just let 1 or 2 people do a lot of the work and do a few attacks, and he was just shadowing them, and then he waited for the right opportunity, and it looks like he's going to go clear.
He's got an advantage of 9 seconds over Horner. There's a 10-second win bonus. So he's probably not doing the maths at this stage of the Vuelta de España, but everybody else is. This is a time to gain seconds. And the riders who have nibbled off seconds on these power finishes that we've seen already, this is a mountain climbing finish. And it's gone back to be advantage at Nibali. Valverde, Basso, Pinot and Rodriguez are down there below us. Valverde is the lime green colours.
Just caught sight of Roach coming back to that group.
Absolutely tremendous show of defiance by Nick Roach. His dad will be proud of him today. So Vincenzo Nibali goes round the corner. They've got no answer to this. They're looking for the kilometre now. Pinot, Rodriguez, Basso, Valverde and Nicholas Roach has hitched on the back. 1 kilometre to go. 1,000 metres right up to the line we will climb. Now he knows with every pedal rev he's chipping off the meters now, and I'm not sure that Nibali can bridge him yet. those are the overall situations behind the race leader today, and the race leader now is behind all of these riders. He's out of the red jersey. We're now looking to see who will be the next man in red tonight.
Well, I think it's going to be Chris Horner, because
It'd be amazing if it is.
Road does level off a bit this last kilometre, and as I say, we're all looking at Nibali thinking what a fantastic attack, but we have to remember just how far Horner is in front of Nibali.
Yeah, absolutely right, Graham, and what an honour it would be for Chris Horner to start last in the time trial the day after tomorrow as the leader of the Tour. 49 seconds, he's not going to bridge that gap. This man is rising to the applause of the crowd here. Chris Horner, this amazing guy, will be 42 in October, the oldest man in the Vuelta a España, his whole season ruined by injury until right now. Here he is, showing them the cleanest pair of wheels we have seen all week in the Vuelta.
Well, we're all waiting for Nibali, Rodriguez, Moreno, and it's Chris Horner who's come back fantastically. Brilliant attack.
His words have come to haunt me, because early on when he lost his red jersey, he said, I may get it back yet, and that was about 5 days ago. Well, this could be the moment. There's the beautiful crowd now as Horner leads the way up the mountain. A lonely figure, the 4 chasers. This is the first real reshuffling of the head of the classification amongst the men who want to succeed in this race. But it's all about Chris Horner, this one. The oldest man in the race. When he won a stage the other day, he became the oldest man ever to win a stage in a Grand Tour. He became the oldest man ever to lead a Grand Tour. And he's doing it all again now. He'll be the oldest man to win 2 stages of a Grand Tour, and the oldest man to lead 2 stages of the Grand Tour. He comes up to the line. The clock will start now, but on this occasion, I don't think we need count, Graham. I think he has done enough.
Absolutely, it's the red jersey for Chris Horner. He may well have been disappointed when he lost it, but what a fantastic comeback, and I wouldn't rule him out for this Vuelta win yet.
Wow, that's a strong statement, and the other riders might be tending to agree with you now. They couldn't do anything about him today. They'll have to mark him a lot closer as this race unfolds. Vincenzo Nibali establishing himself again as the strong favourite to win as he comes up towards the line now. Every second counts. He's thinking of pulling away from the rest rather perhaps than closing down on Horner. But this has been a show of defiance. Vincenzo Nibali was the red jersey, wanted to get rid of it, got rid of it, and now he's showing us he's free to fly. Hits the line, 48 seconds behind, so there's no doubt Chris Horner is the next leader of the Tour. Now the battle for 3rd place, there's a 3rd place bonus here as well. Just a couple of seconds, it all counts, and Valverde, one of the few guys who can really sprint and climb, takes it out pretty easily there. So he gets a small time bonus as well, that's all 3. And Roach comes over the line. I'll have to work that one out. I'm not sure whether he's done enough, but I think he's done enough to keep his lead in the King of the Mountains, because the man who was most likely to get him was Moreni. He's behind. And here is the red jersey. Take a look at the clock. The minutes have ticked away, never mind seconds now. This will be the last time Danny Moreno will be in red in this year's Vuelta a España. 2:22 he's lost on the climb. Well, this is how he did it. Chris Horner, 2 arms in the air. The dream continues. Back from injury, and now a double stage winner and a double leader of the Tour of Spain this year.
Well, Chris Horner only lost the race lead the first time round because of a tiny split in the bunch, but there was no finish line technology required today. 48 seconds was his winning margin over Vincenzo Nibali. Valverde, Basso, Rodriguez and Thibaut Pinot were at 1 minute and 2 seconds, with Nicolas Roach another 8 seconds behind them. Danny Moreno came in 2:22 down in a group with Samuel Sanchez, so 1 minute 20 behind his teammate Joaquin Rodriguez. The Sky pair of Henao and Duran lost just under and just over 4 minutes. 6 men went altogether today, twice as many as we'd lost in the whole of the race to this point, most of them victims of the crash in the neutral zone, of which Juan Antonio Fletcher was one of the survivors.
Well, it was pretty funny because it was neutralized, and probably because we were all relaxed, kind of still on the neutral zone. And on the roundabout there was a big hole in the middle, and Fabian rode over the hole, so all his bidons were out of his bike. So I avoided the bidons, but at one point all the bidons, of course, the water all the roundabout, so it was pretty slippery, and I just slide and couldn't steer my bike properly, and I lay on the ground. Probably guys behind me happened the same thing.
Now, although he lost the race lead, Danny Moreno did hold on to one jersey, the green of points leader. Nicholas Roach, though, was an odd case. He was called onto the podium to take both the mountains and white combined jerseys, despite the fact that Chris Horner is leading in both competitions now. So some confusion among the organisers about the state of their own race. Roach, though, was clear in his verdict on the final climb.
Nico, how was that stage for you?
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, at some stage I was pretty comfortable, and then when they started attacking, and you know, the change of rhythm really killed me. I was really hoping I could hang on to Basso's group, and I was kind of swinging off the back and coming, dropping, and eventually I tried to go a bluff about a K&a-half to go, or K to go, and I accelerated, hoping that maybe they'd let me get a couple of seconds and avoid them attacking me again, but didn't work out. They flew past me, and then I just kind of struggled my way to the finish, with trying to lose as minimum time as possible.
So here's how things now look at the top of the standings. Chris Horner leads this race from Vincenzo Nibali by 43 seconds. Nicholas Roach is 10 seconds behind Nibali, and they're the only men within a minute of the red jersey. Valverde is fourth at 1 minute and 2 seconds. Rodriguez is fifth with 24 seconds now over his teammate and roommate Danny Moreno. Ivan Basso and Thibaut Pinot make up the top 8. Roach's teammate Rafael Majka is 9th. The Sky Challenge, though, looks to be fading, with Rigoberto Urán and Sergio Henao at 5 minutes 12 and 7:08 respectively behind the new race leader.